Let me explain to you how to get a personal loan with no fees this year. I'm talking about origination fees, prepayment fees, all that kind of fees. Okay, so if you want to get a loan with no fees this year, here are the best loans I want you to really consider. Number one, think about Discover. See, the thing is, when you think about Discover, don't think necessarily about credit cards. Of course, Discover has a pretty prestigious lineup when it comes to credit cards. That's for sure. For the last 20 years, they've been known for their credit cards. But Discover also offers personal loans. Okay, now their credit criteria when it comes to personal loans are a little higher than with credit cards. In other words, they're asking for a higher credit score compared to what they ask for when they go up for their credit cards. So for this Discover personal loan, you got to have a minimum of 640 all the way to 720 minimum credit score if you want to qualify. Okay. But the cool thing is Discover is not charging you any fee at all, okay? And you can actually score anywhere from 2,500 all the way to $40,000. This is pretty good. I mean, you can use the loan for anything you can think of, okay? Discover places no restriction on the use of loan proceeds. You just have to make sure you're not using the loan to actually fund your education. That's the only thing that they don't want to see, okay? You can even use the loan for medical purposes. Okay, so 2,500 all the way to $40,000, and the repayment window you're looking at 3 years, all the way to 7 years. So 36 months all the way to 84 months. That's pretty good. Okay, and the APR goes from 8% to 25%. So this is kind of cool. Okay, but one thing I love about Discover is that you have the possibility to pre-qualify for this personal loan. So when you go to their website, you have the possibility to actually do a soft pull. Okay, you can see how much they could potentially give you without actually endangering your credit score. So that's kind of cool, and I encourage you to always do that with Discover. Always go for a soft pull to see what you can qualify for. Okay, and also Discover is pretty known for their customer service. That's another strong point that I love with this company. So overall, Discover is pretty fantastic, and they cover all 50 states and the District of Columbia. If you want to get a personal loan with no fees this year, I want you to think about Laurel Road. And Laurel Road is kind of cool also when it comes to a loan with no fee or let's say a geo restriction. So if you are in Alaska, even Alaska and Hawaii, you can still qualify, okay? Because some lenders only lend to folks in the 48 contiguous states, but Laurel Road doesn't have that restriction. They'll lend to you no matter where you are at. So you just gotta be in the 50 states in this country, okay? And also, by the way, they are in DC too, okay? But Laurel Road is kind of cool for doctors, dentists, and residents. But one thing I want to say is that you can still qualify for Laurel Road even if you're not in healthcare, okay? And Laurel Road is actually a little more generous in its loan than Discover, because the maximum Laurel Road is giving you is 45,000 compared to Discover's 40,000. Okay, Laurel Road also has a slightly higher minimum loan amount at $5,000 compared to Discover $2,500. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And Laurel Road actually is pretty flexible also when it comes to their minimum credit score. Okay, so that's really good. And Laurel Road also has a similar feature that Discover has in terms of pre-qualification. So you have the possibility to go through a soft pull and see how much you can qualify for. Okay, that's really good, because if you're borrowing up to $45,000 payable within 60 months maximum, you want to see that they're giving you a good rate. They're giving you a good amount. They're giving you a good rate. That's what pre-qualification really is for, to see how much you could actually qualify for. One thing I want to say here also is that Laurel Road will give you a 0.25% discount for signing up for AutoPay. So if you actually accept to link your bank account to Laurel Road, they will really sort of give you actually a minimum. I mean, they'll reduce your rate by 0.25%. So this is really good. So overall, fantastic loan. Another personal loan with no fees this year is actually Lightstream. And anytime I talk about Lightstream, I'm very enthusiastic, not just because Lightstream is actually attached to a very well-known bank, which is a Truist Bank, because Lightstream is they're the online lending arm of Truist Bank. So if you want to get a loan, you can actually go to a Truist, no problem. You get a loan, but you not get a loan with the same facility that if you were to go with Lightstream. Let me explain. First of all, Lightstream doesn't charge any fee. There's no origination fee. There's no pre-qualification. There's no prepayment fee, whatever. There's no fee. The only thing is, Lightstream actually loves it when you have at least a credit score that's at least good. In other words, if you have fair credit or bad credit, you might have problems with Lightstream. So, and if you have bad credit or fair credit and you still want to get a loan through the Truist Bank family, it's just better to go to Truist, the bank, not Lightstream, because Lightstream they have a different standards. Okay, they have a different set of standards. So Lightstream will give you a maximum of $100,000. Can you imagine that? $100,000. Okay, they're giving you anywhere from 5 grand to a hundred grand. I mean, I love it, and I say this all the time because you don't see this a lot. You don't see a lot of lenders giving you a maximum of 6 digits, $100,000. So for me, it's noteworthy. So Lightstream is with SoFi, Connexus Credit Union, and Wells Fargo. The only among the four lenders that will give you a maximum of $100,000 with no fees. With no fees, that's pretty good. Okay, so that's really good. And one thing you need to understand here is that you have to repay the loan within 7 years. So 24 months minimum to 84 months maximum. And the APR goes from 7% all the way to a 26, 27%. Again, depending on your credit score, okay, they'll set your APR based on your credit score. So one thing you need to understand is that you have a satisfaction guarantee and rate matching program available, okay? And there are no late payment fees, no origination fees, no prepayment fees, okay? Fantastic. By the way, before I talk about the fourth personal loan with no fees, let me just say that with Livestream, there is no pre-qualification tool available. So when you apply, you better be ready for a hard pull right away, okay? Now let's talk about PenFed. So if you want to get a personal loan with no fees this year, PenFed is another great candidate for me to really for me to really recommend because PenFed, number one, even though it's a credit union, which means you need to be a member to qualify for a personal loan, membership is actually open to anybody, everybody in this country. PenFed actually is short for Pentagon Federal Credit Union. They used to be affiliated with the military. Nowadays, you can still become a member, even if you have no affiliation with the armed forces. Okay, so with DoD or anything around the military. So PenFed will give you anywhere from 600 all the way to $50,000 to be repaid within 1 year all the way to 5 years. So 12 months all the way to 60 months. And the APR goes from 9% all the way to 18%. Okay. So one thing that you need to understand is that PenFed is really flexible in the sense that it offers some of the smallest loans on the market, right? $600. Not a lot of lenders will want to give you such a low amount. Okay. And also, there are joint personal loans available. Okay. And you can also pre-qualify. You can actually check rates without impacting your score or even becoming a member. So to do the pre-qualification thing, you don't have to become a member first. No, you only become a member once you are ready to actually to apply for real. Okay. So overall, fantastic. And you have to really remember that membership is open to anyone. Okay. You don't have to be with the military. You don't have to work for the military. You don't have to have a family member in the military to actually qualify for PenFed. So if you're looking for a personal loan with no fees, here's the last loan I wanted to share with you. I just talked about it a little earlier, a few minutes ago when I said SoFi. So when I said SoFi, so SoFi is actually a very good loan, and SoFi also gives you a huge loan amount. You're looking at 5,000 all the way to $100,000. But unlike Lightstream, SoFi will consider a lower credit score. Let's say a 620, all the way to 630, all the way to 680. Okay, and the loan terms go from 24 months to 84 months. Okay, so you're looking at 2 years to 7 years. And overall, when you think about SoFi, think about a fintech that's actually pretty flexible in terms of lending processes. Okay, and SoFi started offering banking products, so checking accounts, savings accounts. So if your goal is to actually get a loan through through SoFi, it's just maybe better for you to first open a bank account with them so you can start a relationship, and then from there actually apply for a personal loan. Okay, but SoFi doesn't charge any fees at all. Okay, and same day funding is available. There are no late payment fees. Okay, and you have APR discounts for auto pay and direct deposits, so that's pretty good. So you have a 0.25 interest rate discount for signing up for auto pay, kind of similar to what Laurel Road does. Okay, and so you also have a 0.25% interest rate discount for using direct deposit with an eligible SoFi account. Like I told you a little earlier, SoFi does have banking products right now. So if you sign up for the banking products, they'll give you a 0.25%. Okay, on your on your let's say on your loan. Okay, so that's pretty good. And SoFi actually also covers the whole United States. So all the 50 states and the District of Columbia. Okay, and in terms of employment, you got to have regular income from your regular job. Okay, or you can have a job offer with a start date within 90 days. Okay, so that's pretty good from a flexibility point of view. So those are the top five personal loans with no fees. Okay, let me give you a quick overview about the fees that we're speaking about. Particularly, I want to talk to you about a loan origination fee. Okay, so what is a loan origination fee? What you need to understand is that a personal loan actually provides a lump sum of funds you can use for almost anything, right? It can be vacation, it can be a wedding, it can be for moving out, it can be for traveling. Okay, you can use it for almost anything. Some lenders will charge an origination fee during the process actually. So generally, an origination fee is a percentage of your total loan amount, and origination fees typically range from 1 to 6%, although some can exceed 10%. Can you imagine 10%? That means that when you actually are getting a loan for $10,000, you are in the end only getting $9,000, but you're still responsible for paying for paying the $10,000. 9,000 because that's 10% of $10,000, and 10% is $1,000 minus the 10,000. That's 9,000. Minus the 10,000. That's 9,000 remaining. Okay, and so that's an important element. And you may have to pay an origination fee if you actually maybe apply at a middleman, like at a loan marketplace. Some lenders are not direct; they're not direct lenders. Okay, so they may charge you like a fee for arranging the transaction for you. So when you think about getting a personal loan with no fees, don't just get stuck with the loan origination fee. You also got to think about other personal loan fees like prepayment penalties, but also late payment fees. I think I've said that before, but yeah, it is what it is. It's just the way lenders or trying to make extra cash. Okay, so when you think about late payment fees, a missed payment can drop your credit score by as much as 180 points, and your lender might charge you a fee. Okay, also, so ask your lender right now. I want you to really ask your lender about its late payment procedure and whether it offers a grace period before a fee applies. So those are things you really need to think about. So when you think about getting a personal loan with no fees, you have to understand that you always have the possibility to avoid paying let's say those fees at all. Okay, like if you go with a lender that charges those fees, you have the possibility to avoid them altogether. So one thing you need to understand here is that basically, if you want to really avoid personal loan origination fees, you want to stick with no fee lenders. That's the first and easiest way to actually go by. So Discover, Laurel Road, Livestream, PenFed, and SoFi. Okay. Now, there are other ways to actually avoid origination fees, even when the lender you are targeting sometimes charges them. So you want to improve your credit score. If you have a high credit score, your bargaining power actually goes up. Okay, you can sit down with the lender, especially if it's a bank or credit union that has a branch, that has a physical branch. You can go and sit with someone at the branch and have a conversation and explain your situation and explain why they should waive the fee for you. It's totally possible. It's not easy, but it's totally possible. So having a good credit score can help you qualify for lower APR, and lenders are less likely to charge origination fees to borrowers with good or excellent credit. You also want to apply with banks or credit unions. That's what I just told you, right? So bank loans and credit union loans usually come with lower APRs and no origination fees. They're not ideal for emergency loans though, okay? Because banks and credit unions can take longer than online lenders to deposit your loan money. And you can also think about getting a joint loan, okay? That's also another possibility that you can explore. So taking out a joint loan with a credit-worthy family member or a friend could help you qualify for a no-fee loan. And joint loans come with added risk though. Both you and your co-borrower have equal responsibility and access to the loan, that's for sure. So if one of you, God forbid, makes a late payment, both of your credit scores, and I say this with persistence, both of your credit scores will be affected, not just you. It will be both, okay? So bottom line is when you think about avoiding personal loans with loan origination fees, you got to ask yourself, what are the things I can do myself before actually going to someone else to ask them to get a joint loan with you? The things you can do yourself is to work on your credit score. Work on your credit score. Make sure you have the best credit score possible, as high as possible, right? Let's say ideally above 700. If you have anything above 700, you are in a better position to get a personal loan. But if you have a bad credit score because maybe stuff happens or you made a mistake in the past, it will be a lot harder to actually get a loan without a personal loan. Now, having said that, you can ask yourself, how much is the origination fee? Like 1%, 2%? If it's not really that much, just go ahead and get the loan anyway. If you're able to get a high loan amount or a loan with pretty good clauses in terms of provisions, in terms of conditions, right? Because the loan origination fee is only one metric to focus on. There are other metrics that you can really focus on. And so you have to have a holistic view of your loan to see if this is the right transaction for you this year. So in conclusion to this conversation, I explained to you how to get a personal loan with no fees. I spoke to you about the best loans, including Discover, Laurel Road, Lightstream, PenFed, SoFi. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.